Adventurers in audio land, welcome to Point Noir, home of the Point Noir podcast. As always, I'm your host, Jerry III, aka Kimono Jack, fresh off of 2 straight days of non-stop traveling adventure from Botswana. Just arrived in Dallas this morning, super happy as always for safe travel, and super excited to drop this, our first of our weekly episodes, session 4 here at Point Noir. Thank you guys so much for your support, your comments, your feedback on the initial drop of 3 episodes. I was overseas at the time, and it was just really cool to see that people still caught the vibe. Even though things didn't go as spectacularly as I expected, you guys are still feeling what we're putting out, and our guests love the feedback as well. So keep it coming, y'all. Subscribe, rate, review, let us know what you think. Slide in those DMs, and definitely let us know who is looking to get sponsored for a passport. I will actually announce our winner for June at the end of this episode. I know we launched a little bit later in the month, however, we're super committed to getting that done. So we actually have a contestant. It'll be kind of exciting to work out some of the details. So as we continue to do this, we can kind of streamline the process and go from there. However, don't want to hold you guys up. Know you're looking forward to this drop. So let's get on to introducing our guest. Joining us today at The Point is none other than Mr. Roddrick West. He's an architect by trade, however, he's an entrepreneur and adventurer by passion. You can follow him on Instagram at Rod, R-O-D_W-E, Rodwe. The thing I love about this episode and what makes it so unique is that it's not only the first episode where I get to have a face-to-face discussion with my guest, but the vibe is just so chill. We're in a bar, it's a little bit noisy, we're drinking, we're just cutting up like adventurers would when we meet each other out in the world. You guys will love what he has to share about perspective, identity, paradigm shifts, traveling. I think you guys will really love this episode. So I hope you'll find a few minutes, put them aside, pour your favorite beverage of choice, join us in a toast, salute, cheers, and enjoy this episode. We're going to jump into the session. Roddrick, welcome to Point Noir, man. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
We are live and in full effect. Cheers, my guy.
Cheers.
Dos Equis, me, I'm drinking my vodka.
Man.
On the rocks, because that's how I get down. But, yeah, happy to have you here live and in Dallas. First live show, like, that's lit.
Thank you for having me, man. It's a privilege to be on this.
Hey, man, we just trying to add value and keep the positivity. But, let's get things started because we got a full row of drinks. Y'all can't even see it, so I might have to take a picture. But, you know, I got my PBRs because I keep it country. He's got his Dos Equis because he's a traveled man. So,
and I'm a Texan, man. This used to be Mexico, so I got to represent for the history.
I think we still owe them back taxes for this.
We might, actually. We might.
Yeah, at least something more than Cinco de Mayo. But
exactly.
Why don't you tell us a bit about yourself, a little bit of your history, where you grew up from. Tell us about you.
Well, I'm originally from Dallas, Texas. My mother is from New Orleans, so summer breaks, spring breaks, any break, holidays, we would be out there in New Orleans. So I credit a good amount of my upbringing to New Orleans as well. Mm-hmm. I'm architect by trade. Worked for HKS for about 5 years, and specifically focusing on hospitality design. And I'm just a true old Southern boy from Dallas, Texas. Went to University of Texas at Austin and experienced that whole growth out there, man. And one of 7 kids, 6 boys, 1 girl, and I'm second to the youngest.
Okay.
And so big old family. I've been an uncle since I was 2 years old.
Oh, damn.
Went to high school with my oldest niece.
That's wild.
Yeah, so I'm family, travel, experience, and try to take as much my blessings, everything that I've learned, experienced throughout my years, and try to push that forward to helping other people as much as possible.
Right, you know, I definitely feel that. I mean, the positivity, paying it forward, especially being a family-centered man. I think one thing I picked up is from traveling, I have a lot more family than I thought.
Oh, for sure.
You know, that adoptive family, people who look after you for nothing, man. It's something to be grateful for.
The stories about going to one country, meeting somebody, or you might be in one country, but you're traveling to different cities. One city, you meet somebody that 3 cities later in the same country end up helping you out do something else.
Right.
And And so the social, not necessarily social sphere, but the familiar sphere within world traveling, you come across so much good energy, and you never know what that one person might be able to help you do in another type of setting.
Right, you never freaking know. So speaking of travel, like what kind of got you into traveling? Where are some places you've been? Tell us a little bit about your experience there.
Well, when first started, hey, how you doing?
Hey.
And there you go.
Yeah.
And so
it's bar time, y'all. The happiest hour.
The happiest hour over at the Quarter Bar.
Get it, Becky. Hey.
So what got me interested in traveling is I did an internship out there in DC back in, I want to say 2010. I had to be about 21 years old at that time. I was running into a lot of people that did travel abroad with their schools, or they were part of the Peace Corps, and just witnessing and talking to them and the way that they moved, the way that they spoke, the way that they thought about different situations and so on and so forth. It seemed to be a great deal out of the box. They were able to see things from different angles and different perspectives,
right,
that people who are less traveled weren't necessarily able to.
A little bit more creative, a little bit more on the fly sort of stuff.
Creative, on the fly, but they also had an understanding that was deeper than others. You know, folks that, and I'm about to pigeonhole everybody right now, but
go for it.
Folks that aren't traveled, they seem to be stuck in a certain way of thinking and lack perspective, so to speak. When you run across people and experience different types of cultures, you see that your way of thinking is different than their way of thinking.
Or at least not the only way of thinking.
Exactly. It's not the only way of thinking. Not saying that your way of thinking is wrong, not saying their way of thinking is right, but you see different perspectives. And as a result, when you're hit with certain situations, you're able to see different solutions that others aren't able to as a result of your experiences.
Yeah, that's something like that.
And so witnessing and experiencing people like that is what got me interested in traveling.
Okay.
It took me, I didn't get outside of the country. And when I mean outside of the country, I'm not counting the Caribbean or Mexico. I didn't get outside of the country until I was 25 years old. And that experience was an eye-opening experience. It kind of opened up the floodgates for me to continue to jump out, experience more, travel more, and it helped me realize a great deal about myself as well as my experience as a black man in America. And so, yeah, man. Should I even dive deeper into that?
I mean, where was the first trip to, at least, you know?
The first trip was to London. I was blessed with the firm that I was working for at the time to do a 3-month exchange program out there in our London office. And my first weekend there, one of my best friends, she lives out there in London, and her boyfriend, or now fiance, is a Frenchman from Paris. And so my first weekend happened to be Easter weekend, and they were going to Paris. And so they let me tag along with them. And Jerry, when I say I had the best experience of my life,
on one of the holiest holidays, y'all. So it was lit.
It was very lit. Because her fiance is from Paris. And I butcher this every time I say it. But the Montmartre. You got it way better than me.
Hey, man, I'm just here to help.
He's from that area, so we stayed in that area. And he had so many friends. His friends show up with champagne, wine. We're pre-gaming at the house before we go to dinner. We're drinking at dinner, and I learned about the digestive and the aperitif, and how that whole thing works out. And after the dinner, we go back to a bar that's a local bar, and we really pre-game in there. So we pre-game for dinner, and now we're about to pre-game to go out. And the bar scene there was just beautiful, actually. It's a small, quaint corner bar, and it was very local. And so they accepted me like none other. And then we ended up going out from there and experiencing even more. And I found that through the end of my 3-month stint working in London, I went back to Paris another time, and I traveled through the UK a little bit while I was there. And what I found is a weight lifted off of my shoulders throughout that whole experience. And growing up in the South, specifically Texas and Louisiana, I never realized how much racism weighed on my shoulders until I went over there.
Dude, I'll tell you how I knew. When I walked through my first I'm sure it was either a supermarket or department store with a book bag on, and nobody looked at me, because the way my mom raised me was, don't put your hands in your pockets when you're in the store.
Yes.
Don't walk in with no bags. But guess what, man? If y'all haven't seen a French person roll up with their own empty sack, put their groceries in their own bag, and then quote unquote check out. Like, y'all ain't seen nothing like
that. That shit is real, bro.
You'd be like,
hold on, can we curse or should I keep it?
Yeah, go for it. No. Keep it funky, man. No.
My apologies.
But like, I noticed my heart would be beating fast. I didn't steal nothing. I just got my backpack, but they got a security guard, and he's just there watching, not worried about me.
Well, that's our conditioning as being Black Americans, right?
And I realized that shit don't mean nothing outside of the States.
No, it doesn't. Well, let's really preface that. Being an American, Black American over there in Europe, is different from being a Black European.
Yeah, but the conditioning that we experience, or that we've been learned to accept here, in terms of being nervous when I walk past a security guard, because in the States.
Well, that speaking specifically to the Black English folks that I spoke to while living out there, they have some of the same types of experiences as us. Specifically my own here in the South, but the difference is they have a British accent and I have an American accent.
Yes.
And with having an American accent over there, you're looked at as an American, not an African American.
Yep.
And so with that comes a certain set of privileges.
Yep. And which is different than the brothers in the UK.
It's different.
That's just what
even
it is.
the Black French that I ran into, at least, I don't know, your experience might be a little bit different.
Factual, man. I got an advantage being in Paris because I'm not of West Indian descent.
Exactly.
I'm not West African. Black Americans are highly regarded.
Right. We are all stars when it comes to travel. Everybody wants to know us. There wasn't a place that I would walk into. There's only a handful of times that I've walked into situations in which, as a Black man, and specifically with a beard, they might have thought I was Muslim. Mm-hmm. And so I've been confronted a few times with that type of understanding. But as soon as they figure out I'm American and Black American, go on about your business.
Put a little draw on it, it's very clear.
Exactly. But I'll talk about my experience in Madrid, in Spain, with that. But when I moved over there to London and came back, my mindset towards how I approached life. At this time, I was living in Miami. I was based in Miami.
Yeah.
But my mindset of how I approached life and living in the U.S. and just being an individual shifted, right? Because now I know what that privilege feels like.
You can't go back.
You can't go back. And so now, whenever I do receive any kind of static, so to speak, from someone of Euro descent here in the U.S., I look at them like they're stupid and laugh at them.
Right.
And I take nothing from it. I feel bad for them more so than anything else. Now, don't get me wrong, the conditioning of when I walk into a store or walk into a bar or something ends up stolen or missing in the area, I still feel as though all eyes are on me.
Yeah.
But my understanding of my situation as a Black man has shifted. Yeah. No longer do I feel comfortable. And let me preface this that I understand the difference and I appreciate our culture as African Americans, but I don't like being called an African American.
Okay.
Specifically because there should be no qualifier in front of my American.
Yeah.
I'm an American first. Right. This is all I know. Right. This is as far back as I can trace my family. Is all I know is being an American. Well, there's some French in there, Haitian in there, but there's no attachment to Africa besides my skin tone as well as the, the history that comes along with that.
Right. Okay.
And I truly appreciate. I gotta preface this in the right way because
sure.
No way am I
frame it. Set the framework.
No way am I saying that
you an architect.
like my
That's what
African
you do.
heritage.
Right.
and everything like that. I'm Wakanda forever.
Right? Gang, gang.
Gang.
Keep it funky.
Gang. But I realized that you never call a white person a European American. They're just an American.
Right.
And my experience in Miami is that whenever a Latin person is talking about a white person, they call them an American. That American guy.
Yeah.
And I always have to catch them and be like, so what am I?
Right.
Oh, you're American too. They have to clean up themselves. I'm like, let's be serious. I'm an American. I look just like. That's a whole nother class. But
right.
Yeah, man. It just opened up my eyes to a whole new set of things.
No, dude, that especially at that age, because I can relate. 24 was when I was taking my big trip out. I'd already been to France before that, but I'm so grateful I did it because I was living in South Carolina. I'm from the East Coast. I'm from outside of Philly, so that for me was culturally constricting because I could feel the vibe.
Mm-hmm.
You talk about South Carolina overseas and be like, oh, it's racist, isn't it? I'm like, well, it's racist everywhere.
Yeah.
But that moving to Paris around that age really changed my self-identity and my self-esteem for who I was and what I represented and what I could do. I mean, I relate to that so much. It's a powerful thing.
Like, definitely.
And speaking about Montmartre, for those who might not know it, because I hit the accent on it. But
man.
I used to teach Black history in Paris.
Beautiful.
There are a couple walking tours, Black Paris walking tours.
What?
Yeah, bro. I worked for one for a year. I studied on the history. Montmartre was where the jazz musicians would come and hang and play, and that's where they got introduced to us.
Well, that's the thing right there. With traveling, you realize at a much larger scale how much Black culture affects world culture.
World culture. Black American culture.
They look at us as what cool looks like.
Mm-hmm.
And so back in the day when you would have those jazz musicians go over there, they praised them.
Bro, swing changed their lives. Changed their whole lives.
And so when you have jazz, when you have blues, when you had any of those earlier types of music that spurred from slavery or after slavery, and we boasted through and created these whole new genres and types of cultures and coolness factors.
Mm-hmm.
These kids from Europe, the Beatles included,
right,
came to the South and was praising folks like, and don't quote me on this, I believe like Muddy Waters.
Mm-hmm.
And they would come to them and they were like, oh my God, we love you,
right,
blah, blah, blah. And Muddy and them were like, who are these kids with these weird accents?
Right. Where'd you get that whack ass haircut from?
Bro, for real. Not realizing that they were gods in Europe.
Yeah.
Because they appreciate our culture so much.
You can look at the record sales, they'll tell you that.
All right. If you're a Black artist, Jimi Hendrix,
mm-hmm.
he had to leave the U.S., go to Europe, UK, in order to become the Jimi Hendrix that we know.
Yeah.
Because without going over there, who knows if we would even know who Jimi Hendrix was.
Right? It wouldn't. I mean, we got, and that's a wild thing because we got so much talent, and there's just so much talent in our community. We breed talent, but once you hit that point of realization, that point of perspective of who you could be, you bring that back with you. I mean, I've felt that ever since I came back.
For sure.
Every time I leave and come back, I'm just like, oh man,
it's an invincible feeling, bro.
Right. It is wild. It is wild. So okay, first trip to the UK. Shout out UK, all the bruvs,
Garage music and all that stuff.
Oh my goodness.
It was an experience, man.
But what's wild is like when you travel, you see people that look, you swear that's your cousin.
Oh, for sure.
And then he turns around with his, a little slightly squeaky English accent, and you're just like,
"What's up, bro?
What's up, bro?" Hey, like you're just like, "Oh, you gangster? Oh, okay." Mind you, UK has a serious knife situation going on right now, but it's all about perspective, and I've been able to connect through music, but just in general, like, it's just lovely to see a reflection of yourself through a whole different set of eyes.
A whole different set of eyes, whole different set of accents.
Yeah.
It's like, I can't remember where I was. I was in some country, and I ran into some black...
You hear that? He just said some country, like...
I've been
somewhere in the alphabet. It starts with one of them letters.
I've been to 21 countries and a great amount of cities within each country. And so sometimes it just comes all together, and I can't really distinguish it between
no shade.
But I was in one of these countries, and I ran into some black folks, that I perceived to be black.
Mm-hmm.
But they had the darker skin tone, and they popped out with the language of that country, accent full blown and from there.
Yeah,
and it blew my mind.
Yeah,
because for some reason I had the idea that we didn't exist in this area, but then I get there and see that we do exist. I'm like, God damn,
right?
All right, cool. I rock with this place.
right. Yo, if you Black Russian and like 6 foot tall, a woman, hit me up, slide in my DMs, please.
Hey, well, if you want to go down that route,
let's go there.
We are, as Black American men, we are aphrodisiacs,
bruh,
wherever we go,
bruh.
Outside of the U.S., we are literally aphrodisiacs,
bruh. That's a whole nother podcast. I mean, I don't even care if my mom's listening to this, but it's like, yo, like, we out here living. Like, don't block my shine. You know? It's funny. I was in South Africa. I was in Johannesburg on a real vacation, so no work, which is rare that I take a real vacation.
For sure.
And I didn't realize that the cats down there imitate American accents to pick up chicks.
Word.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I need to make my way to Johannesburg. I still have not been to the continent, and that's something that is on my list.
Okay. You let me know where you're going. Hopefully I got somebody for you.
Word.
Yeah, dude, here's the thing. Johannesburg is wild because it's a 80-90% black country without the history. So everybody who's like in middle management or account executive, they all black, they all young black people. Africa's such a young continent.
Yeah.
So you meet somebody like, yeah, I'm a marketing director, 29, 28.
Easy.
And
not understanding how big of a deal that is to us.
Right. Like, oh snap. So you mean you was better than all the white people? Like, what white people?
Exactly. Exactly.
You know, it's, man, and that's a perspective change. But yeah, man, hopefully I see this on your list, but you'll make it there. So hit Europe. Tell me about another place. You've been to Asia, you've been to Saudi.
So I've been to, all right, I'll pull out the list and just like name down.
He's pulling out his passport, y'all. He's just flipping through, looking at the stamps.
So in this case, I'm gonna mention the Caribbean as well as Mexico.
Mind you, I bang with the Caribbean because I haven't been.
No, you haven't been to the Caribbean?
I haven't.
Oh wow.
I've been doing the other thing. Listen,
That's a whole nother little puppy because
I seen their descendants overseas and I'm just like, oh, they're whole islands with people that look like you?
Yes.
Oh, okay, cool.
My family, like I said, is from New Orleans.
Okay.
So the culture there is somewhat reminiscent of what happens in the Caribbean.
Okay.
As far as, because it's a lot of Haitian influence there within New Orleans.
Shout out to Haiti.
Yes, sir. I'm actually going in 2 weeks.
2 weeks?
Well, next week I'll be in Haiti.
What am I doing next week? I can't go, but next time.
I look forward to this experience, man. There's so much history and knowledge on that island that I just want that portion of the island. Because, you got separated from the DR. And
it's, so those of you who don't know, Dominican Republic and Haiti are on the same island. You'd never guess. In Haiti's history, the way they've supported, it's a lot of French stuff, which is why I know it. But it's deep. And like, just always respect to Haiti, just because.
That whole thing between DR and Haiti, how Dominicans don't like Haitians and stuff like that, is just absolute BS to me. But hey, one was ruled by Spain, one was ruled by France, and then one became a free African nation, the first one on this side of in the Americas, as well as really the only true African nation here in the Americas still. Yeah. I mean, you can say Jamaica and as well as these other places, but it's a whole nother subject. But
for you history buffs, do your Googles, kids.
Do your Google, man.
Goddamn Google.
And I'm hoping to learn more while I'm in Haiti so I can speak more intelligently about it. But name of the places I've been to the Bahamas. I won't get down to the actual islands and cities in which I've been. Okay. But the Bahamas, Jamaica, St. Martin, St. Thomas, Puerto Rico.
Is that the UAE I see there?
Yeah. I'll get to that one too.
Okay.
Puerto Rico, Cuba, Dominican Republic, Costa Rica, Colombia, Mexico, Canada, England, Belgium, Germany, France, Spain, Italy, Hungary, Austria, Czech Republic, as well as the UAE.
Okay.
Yeah. Catch my breath for a second.
I know. Hey, man, you out here living it, bro. I might be at... I don't even think I'm in double digits for countries. I did the intense version, though. I did the deep dive.
Yeah.
I did the fucking deep dive. Word. So, like, out of all those countries, where... You know, I know UK was your first trip. Was there any other country that just kind of gave you just a perspective shift where you was just like, okay, I'm never going to be the same after this? Either highs or lows, you know?
The most recent that I can pull back to, as soon as you asked that question, one place that popped in my mind was going to the UAE.
Okay.
That was specifically, I went to Dubai and I went to Abu Dhabi.
Abu Dhabi.
Yeah.
Which we got a lot of us out there. They recruiting black teachers out there to teach their kids.
Well, one of my homegirls is actually a teacher in Dubai.
Yeah.
And she loves it out there.
Dubai and Abu Dhabi, it's like goddamn Atlanta.
Yeah. Oh, for real. It goes down in Dubai. Not so much. I didn't experience it as much in Abu Dhabi, but it goes down in Dubai.
Yeah. So tell us about that.
Boy. So this is my first time traveling to a country that Christianity wasn't the predominant religion. This is my first time traveling to a country in which it was Islamic.
Okay.
All right. And just with all that goes on in the media and everything about the Muslim faith,
yeah,
when you're over there, you realize that it's all bullshit.
Were you familiar a little bit before or no?
Well, I have a mentor that is Muslim.
Okay.
And he teaches me a little bit here and there.
Yeah.
So I knew that going off that it, of course, is bullshit. What's going on in the media, but it took it to a whole nother level.
You actually experiencing it.
How much bullshit it was done.
Right.
So what I experienced out there is the Muslim faith is truly a religion of peace. The people out there are so respectful. Mm-hmm. It's ridiculous how respectful they are. Yeah. And they live to the tenets of their religion, which is a religion of peace. That's what Islam is, right?
They live like hell is real.
For sure.
Shout out to all my Christians out
there. But the service out there is impeccable.
Yeah.
People take pride in what they do.
Mm-hmm.
I can't say anything negative about my experience in Dubai as well as in Abu Dhabi. And side note, Abu Dhabi just opened up the Louvre out there.
Okay.
Architecturally speaking,
yeah,
beautiful.
This is his professional accreditations, y'all.
Professional.
Co-sign that shit.
Beautiful. And Dubai is an architect and engineering playground. I witnessed so much out there that just took my breath away.
Yeah.
I work in hospitality.
Okay.
I quit my job back in August, but I worked in hospitality. It wasn't until I went to a resort in Dubai that I realized what we were doing with these resorts. And I worked in hospitality for almost 5 years.
Okay.
And I didn't realize it until I saw that resort.
Yeah.
It was astonishing.
Yeah.
I realized why people go to resorts.
Yeah.
To kind of actually unwind and relax, because this thing is literally in the middle of the desert.
Yeah.
I'm like, who the hell wants to come to the middle of the desert? You go to that resort, you'll realize why you want to go to the middle of the desert. It's like a mirage out there. But being out there, experiencing the people, experiencing the culture, it shifted my mindset a bit as far as religion is concerned.
Okay.
As far as the way that people's cultures are concerned, as well as just my outlook on today's situation here in America. And so, as that was definitely a place that changed me again after experiencing the UK.
Yeah.
But other situations in which I was changed, I would have to actually think.
I mean, we'll take the first one off the rip. That's the one that's the most recent, and that's the one that resonates, still. You know what I'm saying? I think travel has put me in a situation, you likewise, where it's always perspective shift. You're always seeing something maybe with your own eyes, and that's really powerful, because people will talk.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But you don't know their context, you don't know their circumstance.
Yeah.
I know people who hate Paris.
Yeah. Oh, I hear that as well.
Yeah,
and it's crazy to me because I had such a great time in Paris.
But it talks about the way, the context in which you came in. You had friends.
Exactly.
You're probably more open than the average person. If you come over to a different country expecting that you're going to be the baddest thing walking just because you got an American passport, nah.
What I found that I first learned going to Paris and then as well going to Spain is that as an American, we expect everybody to know English. Yeah. You're in someone else's country.
Exactly.
To go to them first speaking English is very disrespectful. How would you feel if somebody just comes up to you in the U.S. and just butts off with another type of language? Like, you're gonna look at them like they're crazy.
We used to have you remember the campaign where it was not too long after 9/11 where businesses would have signs that it's English only. Like, we're assholes about that, and we forget that we're assholes.
And we're a country of no official religion. I mean, not religion. Well, no official religion, but as well as no official language.
Really?
English is not our official language. No. We
believe
have
you.
no official language.
I learned something, ladies and gentlemen. Shit.
We have no official language. That's the predominant language, but it is not the official language. There is no official language of the United States of America.
Sneaky mugs. Okay.
None. And so, what I found, though, to get back to it, is that when I was in Paris, people, if I go up to them and I say, parlez-vous anglais? If they could speak English, they were much more happier speaking English to me after me asking in their language.
Exactly.
But if I went up to them and was like, do you speak English? They'll look at me like I'm crazy. And that might have been folks with bad experiences might be going up to people like that. So you have to immerse yourself in the cultures in which you're going to visit.
Right.
One experience where I would say is kind of different because I wasn't with my friend who was a Parisian. I wasn't with anyone I knew that was Parisian.
Right.
A work friend of mine ended up in Paris at the same time. So me and her just went to the corner bar in which my friend showed me. I'm thinking that we're the only English speakers in there. We kind of migrate, get our drinks, because the bartender recognized me. Yeah. So he spoke a little bit of English.
Yeah.
And we kind of went off into a corner, having our conversation and kind of observing. A Frenchman comes up and speaks to us in French. We don't want to let them know that we don't speak French. They were outsiders.
Right.
And so we're just nodding the whole time. Nodding. And so his group of friends comes over there, and it's kind of like a circle of conversation.
Yeah.
And we're constantly just nodding. So it got to the point where we couldn't fake the funk anymore.
Yeah.
And dude asked us something in French. Don't know what the hell he asked us to this day.
Fair.
But they all just paused and looked at us, waiting for our answer. And I was just like, parlez-vous anglais? And they were like, oh, America!
Yeah.
And just took us in.
Yeah, bro.
And started speaking English to us. And one of the guys kind of took my breath away with telling us that as French as the rest of the world, they look up to us as the leaders of the world.
That's facts.
As whatever direction the world is going to head in, American youth are going to be the one that determines it.
That's facts.
And so that took my breath away. As well as in Spain, I would go up to people, I'd be like, lo siento, estúpido americano. Yo hablo un poquito español. And so they would start laughing and speaking English to me, and it kind of got them off of their guard a little bit.
Right. But that's the way to do it, is to come, and it's just a little bit, just one phrase to say, even if it's just bonjour madame, bonjour monsieur, I don't speak French.
Exactly. As long as you're giving an effort.
They appreciate that shit so much.
Appreciate it.
And I used to tell people on these tours, I was like, that's it. That's the key. Just a little bit of that respect, that understanding that, yes, I'm not home. I need you for a second.
Yeah.
We can be cool, but like, you gotta drop the pride for those who just travel out there. Because, the United States is such a small portion of the world. While it's influential, a lot of stuff goes on that we're just not even aware of. So come correct, because even in Paris,
Exactly.
You get dragged in the streets. Like.
Oh, for sure. I've seen a couple of fights. I've seen a police chase in Paris and all of that stuff.
Hey, yo, let me tell you, no disrespect to law enforcement, but, it is what it is. Their cops ain't eating donuts.
Nah, they are fit and they will run after you.
Yeah, they ready.
Yeah.
They ready.
I saw a cop chasing somebody on foot there in the UK, in England, and I didn't feel in danger at all.
Yeah.
Dude doesn't have a gun. And I tell you what, the police over there in England never nothing towards me.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah.
And that was another thing about me feeling that weight of racism lifted off of my shoulders.
Yeah, bro.
I had no run-ins with the police. I didn't even feel anything towards the police over there. They were doing their job.
Right.
What they were supposed to be doing, right? And yeah, man, it was awesome.
No, you're right on with that. It's and you don't realize how much sometimes that psychological weight is when you're in the States.
Yeah.
It can be heavy, and listen, some of the situations, our community, people look at us like we're crazy, and it's like, well, look at the situation. Wouldn't this make you crazy too?
Oh.
Like, dead ass. Not to get too deep, but shout out to mental health awareness month. But no, like there's some serious pressures, whether it be economic, whether it just be racial, like going to a different country and experiencing that. I think you owe that to yourself.
Definitely.
And if not, at least go see a different town. Go see a different town.
For sure.
So what's next for you? What else you got popping?
Well, like I said, I'm going to Haiti next week.
Okay. What do you plan to do there? Just kick it or explore?
So I'm going with a group of friends.
Okay.
One of which family is from Haiti, and it's going to be her first time going.
Her first time, how old is she?
I don't know.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Great answer. Great answer.
Yeah.
Gentleman. Rod's a gentleman, y'all.
Yeah. And so she is allowing us to tag along with her, and which I'm truly appreciative of.
So what an experience for her to have for this to be her first time.
Yeah. And so we're landing in Cap-Haïtien.
Okay.
We're going to experience that, and then going to Port-au-Prince, and immediately going to Jacmel.
Okay.
Experience that, and then back to Port-au-Prince, and then from Port-au-Prince we're going to go to Guanaïve.
Okay.
And Guanaïve back to Port-au-Prince.
So how many days? This is a lot of traveling.
Well, I'm gonna be there for a week.
Okay.
For a week.
See, I'm gonna be moving.
Oh yeah.
Hey.
Yeah. Gonna be moving. And I'm looking forward to it. Outside of that, in June I'm going to Nassau, Bahamas.
Okay.
And then right now I'm trying to slow down on traveling a bit in order to take care of my business.
Okay.
And but on the list, one of my top priorities to go to is I want to go to, and it's slipping my mind right now for some strange reason.
Mm-hmm.
It's in Africa.
Okay. I got you. You go Nigeria, you go Ghana. East Coast.
It's an island.
Tanzania.
Tanzania. Specifically, why am I forgetting this right now? I think it's because I'm on the spot.
He knows city names, y'all. I just know countries. I'll get you in the right general place, but I ain't gonna get you there specifically. Zanzibar. Yeah.
I really want to go visit Zanzibar.
Okay.
And
it's beautiful out there. I got friends who've been to pictures. The water, bruh.
One of my mentors is from there.
Okay.
And he had to leave due to political shifts back when he was younger.
Mm-hmm.
Went to Dubai and ended up in Miami, and he blessed me with bringing me into his life as a mentor, and he likes it. He considers me his son, so it's even more than a mentorship kind of thing. I love the man.
That's powerful.
And, he's from there and speaks so highly of it, and I really want to go visit Zanzibar and see what it's like.
Yeah.
But outside of that, I really want to go to South Africa. I really want to go to Nigeria. I need to visit the continent.
Yeah.
Because my friends that have been, including yourself, speak so highly of it. And my cousin just came back from an art work exchange over there. Okay. And he's came back a different man.
Right.
And so I need to go to see where our roots are from, man.
Yeah, man. And dude, that's a great initiative, and your commitment to it is commendable. And if it vibes with you, go out, see the motherland. Some people, I feel like, do it as kind of like oh, everybody else is doing it, I feel like this is what I should say. Hey, if it doesn't work for you, don't go. Like,
exactly.
Ain't no judgment. Live your life.
Exactly.
Live your truth, beloved. But I've been fortunate enough to be around the different countries.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been able to see the western part, the southern part, right in the middle, in the Congo, be on some islands. Like, you really get an idea for the diversity of the is wild. 54 countries, and they all different.
I could imagine.
All very, very different.
The first thing I thought about when you said the 54 countries is that Europeans drew those lines.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was just in Burkina Faso. They have over 60 different ethnicities.
Ain't that something?
In that country.
And so many different dialects and languages, and the culture itself. One thing that disturbed me while I was doing my travels is that people do not consider Egypt a part of Africa.
Bruh, dude.
That disturbs me to no end.
Egypt, Tunisia, like, listen, y'all. Do your goddamn Googles. Like, learn your history and just deal with it. Like, and it's because, unfortunately, and I think this is a human thing, this is a people thing. Our concept of time is so recent. Mm-hmm. It's pretty much in our lifetimes. There are those of us, millennials, black millennials, who think that, civil rights was so long ago. It was the 60s, my guy. Like,
our parents lived through that. Our grandparents lived through that.
Yeah, so it's like if it didn't happen the past 25, 50 years, it didn't happen at all. And Egypt has gone through some cultural shifts over its long, long history. Mm-hmm. And some things happen. Most of the population is a little bit lighter now, but yeah, y'all used to be... Yeah.
We can look at the hieroglyphs and tell what your complexion used to be.
Right. It's like, I don't even want to get into it. Yeah. It's a big deal where people from Northern Africa don't feel like they're Africans. And it's like...
It's crazy.
Oh, okay. Word. Like...
Yeah.
Alright, then. Alright. Like, you gonna lead this pyramid tour or not? Like...
Well, where did it go? I can't think of exactly where my cousin went. But... before he posted this video on Facebook of his travels over there to Africa, I had a conversation with the individual, and they believed that before slavery and stuff, that Africa didn't have any impressive structures, any real impressive culture, didn't have anything notable. And I had to remind them that the knowledge of the world literally came from Africa.
Like, dude, on that point, here's the thing. In this, y'all might be able to relate to this. I don't know where you're from, but they'll say, oh, he's off somewhere in Timbuktu, like it's some non-existent magical fairyland place. No, Timbuktu used to be the center of knowledge of the world at its time.
Yeah.
You had to spend 10 years in school to become a doctor, to become a professor in the universities.
Ain't that something?
10 years of training, and Timbuktu is a real place. Do your goddamn Googles, kids.
People don't realize that Roman knowledge, Greek knowledge of that time, they went to Africa in order to learn their stuff.
Yep.
They don't realize that prior to the Mormon invasion and rule of Europe, that they didn't have infrastructure. They didn't have knowledge or the governmental structures or whatever else have you, the societal structures, until the Moors came in there.
Yep.
And gave it to them.
Yep.
Built it, really. There's castles there to this day that were built by the Moors. But specifically, I'll come back to the point, is that my cousin was out there in Sudan, and he published a video of pyramids in Sudan. Mm. And it blew my mind.
Yeah.
But these structures, these architectural beauties, exist all up and through Africa if they had not been torn down.
Right.
To hide the history, quote unquote.
Right.
Like, who knows, right? I wasn't alive during that time, and we don't know how much history is hidden.
Some people got agendas, hidden agendas, egos and shit like that. Gang, Napoleon gang.
Yeah, we won't talk about that. No.
Yeah, man, we. It's like I can't. Honestly, I'm not read up enough, but I understand the flow of it. I know enough of the history, but the Moorish influence, y'all, look up the Dark Ages. Just see if that's your tip. You know what I'm saying? And I love these conversations because it's not even on some Hotep type stuff. Like, This is just actual factual, man. This is just history, and it's history that there's no advantage to teaching this in the States, which is why sometimes you go to other countries, they tell you stuff about your people that you were like,
Yeah.
Then you go in your Googles, democratization of education and knowledge, y'all. Get in your Googles.
Yeah, and while you're on Google, look up Mansa Musa.
Shoot. You think you blinging now.
Look up Mansa Musa and understand what kind of history we actually
You want to see an economic crash.
Oh. Dude goes through places and crashes economies.
And still exist on coins. Like,
Man. Yeah. That's a whole nother subject. This is the type of stuff you learn while traveling. Like,
yeah.
You, as a Black American, and let me speak for myself. As a Black American, through traveling, whether that's been through South America, whether that's been through Central America, whether that's been through the Caribbean, whether that's been to, let's say, Canada or Mexico, whether that's been through Europe, whether that's been to the Middle East. Like, as a Black American, you learn so much about yourself. And the shackles, the mental shackles that's placed on us seem to just not even come off. They deteriorate.
They just non-existent.
Like, you don't need to break the chains. They just go away.
Right.
Your whole, at least for me, my whole mentality shifted. And so I had a conversation with someone before in which I'll just say it straight out. I was working under someone. And it came to me and was like, Roddrick, why don't you buy a new car? Because I have an old 2006 Mitsubishi Eclipse that's been with me since 2006. Right? And my baby still purrs and she's doing good. Why don't you get a new car? All right. Why? And then I said, I don't have money to buy a new car.
Right.
And he said, well, that's because you're out there just wasting your money. He said, I spend my money on traveling.
Right.
I spend my money to better myself, which makes me a better employee for you.
Right.
And he really had no comebacks.
No silence. Just.
So people, when they consider folks traveling, some folks consider that a waste of money. When I consider it an investment within yourself.
It's an investment for sure.
And so you have to invest within yourself, because at the end of the day, through my travels, now I am open to more business opportunities. I see more trends and possible things that I can take advantage of as a result of seeing it in these different places.
Right.
And see, specifically, like, I'm back here in Dallas, and the thing that I'm moving on here, as we were talking about earlier off the record, was a entertainment park that I'm working on here. And
what's the name of the park, by the way?
It's going to be called The Field.
Okay.
And it's going to be over there in Deep Ellum, Farmers Market area.
Okay.
And so that idea was based off of me living in Miami.
Okay.
I mean, this isn't any even international travel I'm talking about that spurred this idea.
Basically your own backyard.
Yeah. And so I used to play on a soccer field that was underneath the highway over there. And it influenced my idea to bring this new development here to Dallas, in which hopefully it'll be open by November.
Okay.
And so that right there is going to fund many of my different other projects, as well as traveling even more.
Right.
To possibly bring even more businesses back to my home and try to help influence others to do the same thing as far as traveling is concerned and better themselves.
Yeah.
So yeah, traveling it's not just for you. Like, if you're traveling for sex,
right?
Like, sex traveling, not worth it, bro. You can go down the street and get sex, bro.
Right.
Whatever. Go to Vegas. Right. Do that. When you're traveling, travel to experience a culture. Travel to see something new. Before you travel to go party.
Yeah.
I mean, partying is going to happen. Sex might possibly happen as well. But let's not make that your focus.
Right.
When you're traveling. You focus on experiencing the culture.
Mm-hmm.
Focus on coming back a better person.
Right.
Focus on being able to go to these places, meet people, and have lasting relationships.
Yes.
Because I'll talk about one experience when I went to Spain. I did I went to Pamplona to do San Fermin, which is the running with the bulls.
Yeah. I
So-
figured you was going with that. You just seem like the type.
Yeah,
I got it.
Yeah, and so I ran in the streets with the bulls. I ran in the arena with the bulls. I even came back to Miami and realized that there was a bull on my ass.
Yeah.
That one of my homegirls saw me on Snapchat, a video of me on Snapchat. I didn't realize I was running for my life from a bull, but I had a feeling that I needed to jump out of that arena. And if I would have stopped or second guessed myself, that bull would have cleaned me up.
Wow.
Kind of thing. But it's from that experience, the camp that I went with, there was a young man that I met on another leg of my journey through Spain. Randomly. I went from Pamplona to San Sebastian.
Okay.
If San Sebastian's not on your list, it needs to be.
I'm gonna put it on mine.
It's per capita, has as many Michelin rated restaurants as Paris. The food there is amazing. You do a thing called pincho hopping. Instead of bar hopping, you go pincho hopping, in which pinchos are the same thing as tapas, but you're in a different region of Spain, so they call them pinchos. And so you go to one of the restaurants, you get 3 pinchos of your choice. Get a what do they call it? It's red wine and Coke mix. It sounds disgusting, but it is refreshing.
No judgment. Hey, listen.
It is refreshing.
Thirst is thirst. You gotta hydrate. Y'all.
Exactly. And so you just jump from bar to bar, eating and drinking. Wonderful experience. But on the bus from San Sebastian to Madrid, I ran back into the guy that was heading the camp.
Yeah.
And so we're just sitting there talking, shooting shit on the bus the whole way. And an American girl, a black American girl from San Francisco, I want to say, just randomly happened to be sitting next to us.
Right.
So we start chopping it up with her. Well, Ash is my guy's name. Ends up going on his journey, but now I'm with this American girl, and she brings me out with her and her friends in Madrid. I start meeting more people, and then end up meeting someone that gave me a whole tour of Madrid the next day.
Wow.
And so my experience in Madrid, outside of another little occasion, was great.
Yeah.
And Ash ended up going to Carnival in Brazil and riding up in Mardi Gras in New Orleans.
No.
I was there at the same time. My family, like I said, is from there. I was able to show him a good time in New Orleans.
Full circle.
Full circle. So he was able to show me a great time in Pamplona. To do conversation with him put me in a great position to have a great time in Madrid, and I was able to pay it forward for him in New Orleans. And so this type of stuff happens all the time.
Consistently, y'all. Like
all the time.
But I think that's really good advice. I usually ask my guests, what's a piece of advice for people thinking about travel, and just to go out to explore more about yourself, to gain a deeper understanding of the culture and really engage. I think that's best said that way.
And it's okay to travel by yourself. Sometimes it's the best way to do it.
I'm a big proponent of that. I'm biased, but this has actually come up on some other segments. But the thing is, listen, if you don't know you, how you know how you're gonna act with a whole bunch of other people? Like, that's keeping it funky. And sometimes the things you experience are just for you.
Yeah.
We all have our different perspectives, our different things to realize, to become aware of. A moment for you is not a moment for everybody.
Yeah.
So traveling alone, at least for a day, if you're on a 6-day trip with friends, take that. But dude, thank you for stopping by. We're in this bar. You all can probably hear this music. We got DMX playing.
Gonna give it to you.
That's what it is. It's been pretty lit. We almost threw all our beers. I still got some vodka left. So you mentioned your entertainment park. Tell us how we can find you and kind of what else you're working on.
Well, Instagram, I'm Rod, R-O-D _we, W-E. And I guess I'll start posting more about my project on there. The development is going to be called The Field. And
okay.
What I'm looking for with that is to bring a place of gathering as well as a place of really exercise and just experiencing the outdoors, repurposing an area that has been neglected. And for y'all that don't know the history behind 345 and the black community that existed over there in the Arts District, as well as what Deep Ellum used to be back in those days. Google.
Yeah, do your Google skills.
It's a lot of history over there that is being washed away. One of the buildings that's over there actually is the first building in Texas built by a black architect with black money for black businesses.
Wow.
And it's currently being redeveloped for another development that's happening right there on the corner of Elm and Gaston, I believe it is. But there's a lot of history over there. But this field that I'm developing is 5 soccer fields, 2 of which that you'll be able to play football on, flag football on. Mm-hmm. The event line that will have food trucks where people could actually rent out the whole event line if you want to actually have parties or whatever else have you. Thinking about having DJ sets out there as a chill space for folks to go to on a Sunday or Saturday during the day to do some day drinking or whatever else have you. This thing is going to be big for the city of Dallas and hopefully a focal point for our community to gather in.
Absolutely.
Well.
And something positive, which is what I'm always trying to promote here on the show. So I appreciate you bringing that energy through. I'm in Dallas. I'm a local yokel now, so I'll be here for a couple more years. I'll be checking it out.
Yes, sir.
But dude, thank you for stopping by Point Noir, hanging out in this bar. Like, if I could do all my interviews like this, I did as would, because I'm super easy, and this is just another day, you know. So thank you, Roddrick, man. We're going to make sure you put your info in there.
Jerry, thank you for having me, bro.
Man,
I really appreciate it.
Dude, thank you for sharing. That's what it's all about.
And if I can help out anyone as far as questions in regards to traveling, or you have questions about different countries that I've been to and you're going there and want to link up with somebody that I might have a contact with still in that country, hit me up, Rod_we on Instagram. And I'll try to help you out as much as possible.
Yeah, or how about being a goddamn architect?
Well, I am an architect as well. And so if you need your house designed or you're working on a hotel or whatever else have you, holla at me. I got you.
We're going to do it. All right, well, we're going to sign off for this episode. Thank y'all for tuning in. And check out the show notes for all his contact info. Thanks for visiting Point Noir, y'all. We've been having a good time, so we hope you did too. Peace.
Peace.
Hey, we out here. Like I told you guys earlier, just 2 adventurers kicking it over a few drinks, shooting the shit, sharing stories. Rod, thank you so much for coming on the show. Really appreciated you sharing your time, and I think you dropped some dope stuff for everybody. Loved how you talked about coming correctly when you're in a country and don't speak the primary language. You guys, that means so much. And I also love the insight about never knowing how far relationships will go or how long they'll go when people start reappearing in your own journey and you're able to help each other in different ways. Like it's super, super cool and happens way more often than you guys think if you haven't experienced it yet. Make sure you guys follow my man on Instagram at Rod_we. I know he just came back from Haiti, got some dope pictures up, and he's got this awesome project, The Field, going on right here in Dallas, Texas, in Deep Ellum. So if you're out here and you're hearing this episode, y'all need to check that out. Support the brother, man, at Rod_we. I'll definitely be tagging along to see what's going on with this project and see what other kind of great community atmospheres he's out here creating. Definitely an interesting brother, and I'm glad he could spend some time on the show. While you're following him on Instagram, make sure you spend some time to subscribe, review, or share an episode that you really enjoy so far. We have 4 in the bank here at Point Noir, and we're going to keep them coming, but we definitely need your support to keep the momentum going. So hit me up on Instagram at Jerry_the3rd. If you're on the Anchor app, leave some claps on it. If you're on the iTunes app, just leave us a 5-star review and a comment, just whatever you have time for. We super appreciate it. Again, this has been another awesome session here at Point Noir, Session 4. And as always, I'm your host, Jerry the 3rd, and here I am, signing off. Oh, but wait, there's more. I did not forget. Promises were made and promises shall be kept here at the Point. I promised that I would reveal our awesome winner for the month of June for our passport giveaway, and I'm proud to say it is none other than Mr. Corey J. Adventures. Give that man a round of applause. If you've been following the show up to this point, you'll know easily that he was our guest for our last session, Session 3. And upon learning he didn't have a passport, I thought he'd be a great fit for our first month since it was already short in the month and we haven't quite finalized this process yet. So I'm so looking forward to working with Corey J Adventures on getting him his passport, kind of ironing out the kinks in the process. And even more than that, I'm looking forward to sponsoring more people. Every month we do this. So get your submissions in. I know a few people have hit me up on Instagram already. We have all that stuff captured. But leave a review, leave a comment, Twitter, Instagram, we're out here. We're looking for people. Because if y'all don't send them, I will literally walk around Dallas with a microphone and just ask people if they have passports and buy them for them. We're so dead ass about this. So please, we need your support. Keep following the show, keep giving us the feedback, and definitely give us your submissions. There's someone out there who's in need, and we're here to help. We're going to keep doing awesome shit here at The Point, so stay tuned. And again, big up to Corey J Adventures. Talk to y'all soon. Peace.